Well, a good day to you, and welcome to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie and you. For 7+ years, we've been telling you it's your show. You seem to get that because you always come in and participate every single day when we put a topic out there. I'm Jerry Usher, along with Debbie Georgiani. Hey, Debbie, how you doing?
Hello, Jerry. Welcome back. Did you have a great Independence Day and birthday celebration?
I did, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Very cool. Yeah. We had a wonderful prayer show yesterday. A lot of folks came together, storming heaven together, believing in the power of prayer, having confidence in prayer, and really trusting God. And it was a beautiful show, but we're glad you're back. And today we're talking about parish life. What do you love about your parish? What are the different ministries and activities going on at your parish that really make it something that you look forward to when you get on campus there, that you're like, wow, this is a great parish community? Or maybe you have some things that you would like to see happen at your parish, and it's not happening right now. Maybe you're limited on staff or priests or something like that. We can talk about it from all angles. That's what Take Two is all about. But today is, what do you love about your parish? That's what we want to know.
Well, you can join by phone at 833-288-EWTN, 833-288-3986. You can email us your thoughts on this topic, take2@EWTN.com. We want to say hello to those of you watching on the video streams, YouTube and Facebook, EWTN Catholic Radio. You can post your comments there. Jeff Burson, our social media manager, will get those over to us. We have Ace McKay, our producer, on the board. Matt Gabensky is on the phones. You can also post on the show website, take2show.com. What is it that you love about your parish? It could be the architecture. It could be the beauty of the parish, the stained glass windows. It could be the gorgeous tabernacle. It could be that you have perpetual adoration. It could be you have an awesome pastor. It could be the music. We want to know what you love about your parish today and why. 833-288-3986.
Please join us. Think about it, because what you share today could really help our clergy that listens all the time to Take Two. We hear that they get great homily material. That's so wonderful, and we're happy about that. So a lot of priests, deacons, lay leaders, sisters listen to Take Two, and they're absorbing what you're sharing with your experience and your observation of things, and what really makes you impacted in your spiritual life. So what you share is important. But if you sit this out, if you just listen, then you miss out on that opportunity. So would you please call this number, because Matt Gabensky's waiting to talk to you, at 833-288-3986. Jerry, what do you love about your parish?
Well, there are a lot of things I love. I've talked about my pastor before, Father Paul, who is a really fine young priest. I still call him young. I think he's about 46 years old. God bless him. He has had the issues with the brain tumor, and he's doing okay. He recently had some additional tests, and things are still, kind of holding steady for him. But he is solid in the faith, orthodox. He preaches about going to confession all the time. He loves preaching about the Eucharist. So I would say definitely Father Paul. And another thing too, it's a rather small parish, and it just takes everybody's involvement to keep the parish humming, from the parish secretary to the housekeeper to the groundskeeper to the art and environment ladies. So we have a lot of great parishioners there. So the pastor and the people, I think, are a couple things that I really love about my parish. How about you?
I would agree with that. For my parish here in Arizona, the pastor is wonderful. The lay leaders are fantastic, always have smiles on their faces, just beautiful. I love perpetual adoration. You know how I feel about that. When there's perpetual adoration attached to a parish, I really believe that the ministry participation goes up. Everything just kind of gets very vibrant and alive in the parish. And that's a beautiful blessing and grace that comes, I believe, from perpetual adoration. I love the spirituality of the people that go to our parish here in Arizona, because they take it seriously, very seriously. They're not just punching a time clock, going to mass. They really are investing themselves in with their entire soul as they pray together and worship together. It's absolutely beautiful, and that's a wonderful thing. I do wish, I will tell you, I'm not trying to be critical, but I do feel that lately, and I go to a lot of different parishes, folks, because we travel and we do certain things. So I go to a lot of different parishes. I'm not saying this just at my parish. Sometimes I think the homilies are a little off, and I will tell you what I mean by that. I think they do reflect on the readings, and that's important. They're supposed to do that. But I think sometimes the message is a little flat. And I wish there would be a little bit more of a, oomph behind the message, a little, kind of urgency, a little enthusiasm. It seems a little flat. And I think that just could be because people are maybe post-pandemic. We're all kind of exhausted, maybe. I don't know. But if there's any clergy listening, please tell me why some of the homilies seem a little flat.
Okay.
I'm sorry. They just do. I'm going to be really, you know me, Jerry, I'm very transparent. What you see is what you get. Sure. And I just wish at this time we had some really good, powerful preachers.
Well, and there are many of them out there, and we thank God for them, and we thank God for you, the Take Two family. We've got calls being screened already by Matt Gabensky, but there are some lines open. And you are going to get right through, and we would love to hear from you. What is it that you love about the parish that you attend? 833-288-3986. It could be anything. Maybe it's, you got a really robust Knights of Columbus Council, or maybe you're involved in some kind of a ministry. Maybe you are a proclaimer, a lector at Mass, or involved in some other ministry that you just love about your parish that gives you that opportunity to be serving the Lord in that capacity, serving the Lord's people. 833-288-3986. There you go. Now the phones are really starting to light up like a Christmas tree in July.
Well, let me just share something too, because I want our fine listeners, especially if you're brand new. I was very spoiled. My uncle, who went on for his, eternal rewards, was a phenomenal priest. He was the mentor to Father Benedict Groeschel. He was just a gifted homilist. I mean, everybody used to flock from miles around for his homilies because he got up there and he just knocked it out of the ballpark. And he was a baseball player too, so that's kind of interesting I said that. So I'm spoiled. I want that feeling. Do you want that feeling too at your parish? And maybe you have that feeling. Share with us how that has been accomplished at 833-288-3986. Join us today and finish the sentence, I love my parish because...
Father Benedict Groeschel, Monse Alvarado, Raymond Arroyo.
The leading Catholic voices are on the largest Catholic media network in the world. You're listening to the EWTN Global Catholic Radio Network.
60 Seconds with Archbishop Fulton J. Sheen.
Man who's free to love is free to hate. He who is free to obey is free to rebel. Virtue in this concrete order is possible only in those spheres in which it is possible to be vicious. A man can be a saint only in a church in which it is possible to be a devil. You say, well, if I were God, I would destroy evil. Well, if you did that, you would destroy human freedom. God will not destroy freedom. If we do not want any dictators on this earth, certainly we do not want any dictators in the kingdom of heaven. And those, therefore, who would blame God for allowing man freedom to go on hindering and thwarting his work are like those who, seeing blots and smudges and errors in the student's notebook, would condemn the teacher for not snatching away the book and doing the copy himself.
The people you know and trust are on EWTN.
Can't make it to Holy Mass? EWTN offers the daily readings to enable you to accompany the Mass of the day as it's broadcast. Listen, watch, or read from the comfort of your home. Visit EWTN.com/resources.
Thank you so much for listening to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie on EWTN Radio. Thank you, affiliates, for carrying the program. We are going to get your call started with Linda just as soon as I remind you about EWTN's Media Missionaries, talking about ministry and ways that you can help this fine network that has been around for decades now, largely due to the great efforts of people on the ground. EWTN Media Missionaries prayerfully take EWTN to parishes and the community through the print and electronic media that we provide. You can help EWTN share the good news by becoming a media missionary. All you have to do is visit EWTNmissionaries.com. That's EWTNmissionaries.com. Do that today and join us in sharing the eternal word with the world.
Okay, I just received a text message from one of our priest listeners of Take Two, and he said, Debbie, I'm a good homilist, right? With a question mark. Yes, Father, you are. You are a good homilist. Okay, just want to make sure. I'm not trying to be critical. I just want things to be really exciting in our parishes. Why? Because people, it's home to them, right? It's home to them, and they want to feel alive in their parish community. You know how I feel about that, Jerry. I spent 25 years in ministry. I have worked for parishes that are kind of, dull, and I've worked with parishes that are very vibrant, and there's a huge difference, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely. Absolutely, yeah. And in every age, especially I think the age that we live in right now, we need our parishes to be vibrant, on fire, like you said, places where we feel at home, but also places where we are being fed, and we can be then commissioned, if you will, to go out and be Christ in the world. So yep. I do agree completely. All right, Linda, as promised, is in Northville, Michigan, listening on Ave Maria Radio. Hi, Linda. You're up first today. Welcome. How are you?
Hey, good. How are you guys doing today?
Great. You sound like
Linda.
You're peppy and alive today.
Yeah, I just went to farmer's market, got some flowers, so I got my gloves on. I'm ready to roll. You know what I mean?
Good.
That's my jam. Flowers are my jam.
Good for you.
I like your spirit, Linda. You're pretty awesome.
Well, thank you. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, and back at you guys too. So I'll make it quick because you probably got a lot of people. So what I love about my parish, I have this little priest. He's like 5 foot, but he's got a booming voice. And every week when he says our 11:30 Mass, we get a choice of which homily we would like. And he says, "Okay, I've got 1 to 3 choices for you today." And so he says the name. We do a show of hands, and so by the popular hands raised, that's how we vote. So it's kind of cute and unique,
Yeah,
that's what I like about it.
I think that's brilliant, Linda. I have never heard that before. Like I said earlier, I've worked in parishes for over 25 years. That is brilliant because then you can make it. You can reflect on the readings, which they're supposed to, but you can also make it very relevant to what people need at that moment. And like Jerry said, to be fed and then to go out because you're being sent forth. You're being sent out into the world. It gives people the necessary understanding, the formation, the tools to go out there and represent Christ the best way we know how. Please tell that fine priest that I said, way to go, Father.
I most certainly will. And it makes it personal, too, because you get to pick it, and so now you're more in tune because you picked it. And if that's by chance you didn't get the one that you raised your hand for, he has it on our podcast, so you can listen to the one that lost it if you so choose.
Wow, Linda, that is remarkable because homily preparation is something that is so important. My last pastor, not at my current parish, but at my last parish, told me once he spent 12 hours a week preparing his Sunday homily. And I can just imagine, I don't know if your priest spends 12 hours, say, on each of, say, 3 of them, but to prepare 3 different homilies, even preparing one is a difficult thing for a priest just because they have a time crunch. They're so busy with so many other things. But to take the time to prepare 3, that is fantastic. And you mentioned he's about 5 feet tall. Well, what do they say? Dynamite comes in small packages.
That's right. That's right.
Yep, that's Father Dennis Thoreau for you. That's Father him all Dennis. The way.
Nice.
Right.
Well,
Yep.
please thank him for us and tell him great job and thank him for his vocation. Would you do that?
I most certainly will.
Thanks,
Sunday,
Linda.
I'll give him your best. Have a wonderful day, you two.
You too. God bless.
Thanks, Linda.
Wow.
That's brilliant. See, this is why we do the show. We get great insights, and I hope there's some priests listening right now that maybe might try that one time if that can make the liturgies a little bit more robust. Okay, Al in Panama City, Florida. iHeart Radio is the way you're listening. Hi, Al. Welcome.
Good morning, and thank you for having me on. I go to St. Bernadette, and Father Ted Sosnowski, he's a Polish priest, and his brother is a priest in Poland also, and very traditional and an amazing priest. And I love the reverence of the Mass, and he has not lost that. And I do have to say, coming from a Pentecostal and Southern Baptist background, our service was focused on the pastor and emotionalism and ecstasy in his vibrancy. And I love the reverence of the Catholic Mass. And I don't want to lose that. I do think Catholic priests could take a lesson from, let's say, our Protestant brothers and sisters' preaching styles. But I don't want it to be, I say we should seek the divine, not the sensational. So I don't, we're focused on the Eucharist, and I don't want to lose that and make it focused on the priest. And for lack of better words, I don't say this to be irreverent, a show being put on in his homily. I want the reverence. I want the Word of God. Now, they could add a little life to themselves sometimes, but our priest, Father Ted, is absolutely amazing. He talks about confession, the Eucharist, and living a Catholic Christian life to show people what Catholics truly are. So that's my 2 cents for what it's worth, and God bless you.
Well, Al, hang on the line here, because if you were listening at the start of the show, one of the first thing I said that I love about my parish is my pastor, and actually his first assignment was at St. Bernadette's. Father Paul, do you remember Father Paul?
I do.
Father Paul Smith, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's now my pastor, and he talks about Father Ted, and he's a member of their Congregation of the Resurrection, and Father Paul is spot on in his homilies. There's no watering it down or anything like that, and it sounds like all of the priests in their congregation are pretty much that way from what I've heard from Father Paul. So you are very, very blessed, Al, to have a priest like that.
Absolutely, he is amazing, and I thank God for him, and I am so blessed, and our community is blessed because he is not, for lack of better words, one of these people trying to preach a woke sermon. He is preaching God's word, and it takes a strong person to follow God's path sometimes, and we are so blessed, and I hope he's listening.
Yeah. You can always point him to the archive of the show at take2show.com. But I may just have to tell Father Paul that you called in today, Al. Go ahead, Debbie.
What a small world. That is amazing. But Al, I agree with you wholeheartedly about focusing on the Eucharist. Absolutely. And if you listen to this show, so I'm all about the Eucharist. It's always about the Eucharist for me. Okay, so I understand that, but I do believe that liturgies can be well-rounded enough to reflect on the living Word of God, which we should be doing, for the reverence to be there, for the ritual to be there, for the prayerful state and understanding to be there. It can have it all, but what it needs is dedication and preparation. And I think sometimes because people may be tired, or there's not enough staff, or there's not enough time, or something happens, or too much going on, that it sometimes there's a little bit of that missing. And when that's missing, Al, and I come from religious education side of things, people start to kind of fall off. They doze off. They kind of it doesn't really have the impact that it should. So I understand totally what you're saying, but I also think it's also the responsibility of the people at the parish to make sure that they conduct a liturgy well. What do you think?
Absolutely. Oh, I absolutely agree. I have sadly had the priests that I think I've dozed off, or maybe I couldn't even tell you 3 words they said in their homily because they almost wanted you to go check to see if they had a pulse. And so I don't say that to be mean or ugly. All I'm saying is they could add a little life to it. And, I mean, I don't say this disrespectfully, a little flair maybe, and get people more involved to where they want to pay attention and they're not just I've got my bulletin, that's my receipt for being there, and check the box. Get them involved, get them alive for their faith, and
Amen.
On fire for the Lord. So I agree with you, and it's not just the priest's responsibility; it's every person sitting out there in the pews to live for God and help with the church because they're understaffed. Volunteer.
Right. Right, absolutely. It's people. You shouldn't come to mass to try and receive something. Sit back like you're in a theater, right? You have to invest yourself. So I totally agree with you. It's a full body, soul, intention to be there and to really be reverent and to understand what is happening right in front of us. Al, love your enthusiasm and your passion for this, and that was a great call. Thank you so much, and I love how you guys connected. What a small world we live in.
What a very small world. Thank you, Al. What do you love most about your parish? Take Two family, 833-288-3986. Dr. Will is watching the video stream on Facebook. Hello to all of you. And he says, architecture, architecture, architecture. I love the classic look of my parish. It's a Gothic church over 150 years old. Wonderful stained glass. Dr. Will, thanks for watching the video stream and for chiming in on the conversation today. Donnie said, my choir is amazing. I love the music we have as it praises the Lord. Donnie also with us on Facebook today. So getting a lot of social media. Yeah.
We have beautiful stained glass images of the saints. And I always, Jerry, take a guess of the saint that I sit under every single Sunday. Go ahead.
Saint Deborah?
No, Padre Pio.
Oh, Padre Pio, of course.
So I get to look. He's way up above, and I get to say hi to him every time I go to mass. I love when you have beautiful. The surroundings, that's the beauty of our faith, is that we take in all the senses. We use all the senses, with, the incense and the candles and the stained glass and everything. It's an amazing event. And it's something it should transform us spiritually.
For sure. All right, back to your phone calls. We're going to go to Houston next. Catherine is listening on Guadalupe Radio Network. Hi, Catherine. Welcome to the conversation.
Oh, good morning. Good morning.
Hi.
Well, I'm excited because, like previous callers there, I go to a church called Holy Rosary in Midtown, and we have the architecture, we have the rails, so we have a very reverent and beautiful liturgy. We have amazing music, but we're also known as a commuter parish. We don't have as many of the really active ministries. What we do have, however, is the preaching. So this is a church that is staffed and organized by the Dominicans, and I have been so grateful. Father Peter Damien is our pastor, Friar Mariano. In the prayer, we also have other visitors who are either in town to be a professor at USC or a student finishing his PhD. They come from all over, and it's been such a blessing to receive the preaching from the order of preachers. They're phenomenal.
Yeah, well, that's what they're known for. Absolutely. Yeah. Amazing that you said that. But that's important. So real quickly, Catherine, what has that done for you spiritually to receive that? And you get it from all different clergy. So what has it done for you spiritually? That's important because people are listening right now.
It has shaped me so much because they're preaching, as you mentioned earlier, it does unpack the word, of course. But then it also encourages us to look to the sacraments and then to take it out into the world. Don't just come in and leave on Sunday. Come in, receive the Eucharist, and be transformed. And they offer reconciliation daily, Monday through Friday, and even on Saturdays. Sunday's the only day they don't have it, and they offer it twice a day. So the sacrament of reconciliation is a key component that blesses all of downtown Houston. Like, people come from all over to be able to go for reconciliation there. It's beautiful.
I'm sure they do, Catherine. I remember when I lived in Portland, Oregon, there was a Holy Rosary parish there staffed by Dominicans, and they had confessions at least a couple times a day, and they were also, of course, very well known, for being the order of preachers that they are. And I think it's so important, like you're saying, it forms you. It helps to form you. So many times, unfortunately, too many people have this attitude like, I go to church for an hour a week, and then that 10 to 12 minute slice of that hour is when I'm being, preached, hearing the homily and being instructed instructed, informed, and exhorted. And after that, it's sort of like, okay, well, we'll do this again next week, but it's meant to send us forth to think, to ponder, to pray, to meditate, and then to go out from us to those around us, those we love, and people, even those people that we don't know. So beautiful, Catherine. I think that's you got an awesome parish environment there, it sounds like. Wow.
Thank you, Catherine. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, Catherine just freed up a phone line just for you if you want to highlight your parish at 833-288-3986. That's the number to call, and you can share what's working well at your parish, maybe what you would hope that and pray for, that something that changes. I know a lot of folks after post-pandemic, Jerry, they have been saying that they would like the ministries to start up again. A lot of ministries stopped during the pandemic and never got back rolling again. And that's unfortunate because the ministry life should be very, very active.
Yeah. Michael M., my parish was the first dedicated to St. Therese of Lisieux. It is the only shrine in our diocese, and St. Therese is our patron saint. The current church was built in 1956, and we have the only authentic pipe organ in the valley. Way to go, Michael M. That's on YouTube. Our phone number, 833-288-3986. Take two with Jerry and Debbie and you.
The most original Catholic content is on EWTN Radio.
This is Father Joseph Mary. On this week's Mother Angelica Answering the Call, Mother prays for a young caller's mother and discusses the Children's Rosary. Her other topics include a prayer for those who work with tragedy and going to Mary.
Mother Angelica Answering the Call, Sunday afternoon, 2 Eastern on EWTN Radio.
This is a Messy Family Minute with Mike and Alicia Hernan. The world says husbands and wives have the same or even interchangeable roles. Some fundamentalists say wives should let their husbands decide everything and simply obey. This way of thinking does not reflect the rich, intricate, and beautiful teaching of the Catholic Church on marriage.
A true Catholic marriage calls men and women to act in complementarity so they both become who God's calling them to be. Men act as the head and women act as the heart. These are sacred roles which communicate to the world the mystery of Christ's relationship with the church.
Christ sacrificed himself for the church and laid down his body for her. That's how husbands are called to love their wives. Wives love their husbands by respecting and allowing them to protect and lead them to holiness. St. Paul sums up these roles in Ephesians 5. Husbands, love your wives, and wives, respect your husbands.
To listen to our new podcast on the roles of husbands and wives, visit our website at messyfamilyminute.org.
Want to be notified when Take Two with Jerry and Debbie goes live on Facebook? Follow EWTN Radio's Facebook page and click the bell icon to be notified.
Hi, this is Dr. David Anders. Do you have questions about the Catholic faith? Get the answers on Call to Communion, coming up at 2 p.m. Eastern. Now, back to Take Two with Jerry and Debbie.
Okay, we're asking you to finish the sentence, I love my parish because ... That's for you to answer because we're learning. I have now taken, Jerry, a page and a half of notes from our Take Two family. I love you guys. You guys are amazing. I'm always learning from you. Okay, Faith is up next in Massachusetts on Sirius XM 130. Hi, Faith. Thanks for waiting. Share what you love about your parish.
Hi, so I'm a member of All Saints Parish in Haverhill, Massachusetts, and I want to kind of address this question from a slightly different perspective than what you might get from most callers. I am I'm a survivor of sexual abuse by a priest. This was years ago when I was 15, working in the rectory. I've come such a long way in my healing over the years. I kind of have my own ministry going. You know, I, by the grace of God, have been able to use this tragedy. I've been able to use this tragedy, to help others. God has been so good. But I am at the same parish where this abuse occurred, and there have been other survivors who have come forward over the years as well. But, sometimes the sex abuse scandal is something a lot of people don't want to think about. They don't want to face it. And unfortunately, when you've been betrayed in such a profound, horrible way by someone who is supposed to be, Christ's representative on earth, you can understand why a lot of people are they stop going to church. They just, not just because of the person who hurt them, because of that priest or religious, but because of the community that actually can be really awful to you. And I did experience that in my own parish community. I grew up in this parish, had people who I had known for years come to love and to trust turn against me when I came forward and, chose to face my rapist in court so long ago. But I've stuck with it, and, I have a lot of sentimental reasons to stay in my parish. I grew up there. I had an older brother. My oldest brother sadly passed away 21 years ago due to a heart condition, and so I have ties to him through that parish, and I do have very many beautiful memories. But going there can still be difficult, as it can be difficult for me going to any church, but especially this particular parish. But anyway, I just want to share that several years ago we got a new pastor. He's young. His name is Father Chris, and we've formed a wonderful friendship with him. He's actually godfather to our fourth our little guy who's our fourth child, and he's just one of those people who just calls to mind the fact that all it takes is the power of one person to light a flame that can just kind of just spread everywhere. He has inspired not only myself, but I think the parish community with so much hope and healing. As I mentioned earlier, the name of our parish is All Saints, and the mantra is "We are all saints. Holiness is possible." And Father Chris demonstrates that so powerfully every day. And I just want to share, a couple months ago, our Archbishop Cardinal Sean O'Malley had asked that the priests in his parishes address the sex abuse scandal in their homilies. Actually, a lot of priests didn't do it, and it's an uncomfortable thing to talk about. No one wants to really talk about it. And what our pastor did, and it was so moving, he got to his homily, he kind of talked a little bit about it, and then he said, there's not a lot I can do personally right here, right now, but, from a physical standpoint. But what I can do is, I can pray. And he knelt down right there, and he led the entire congregation in the rosary as part of his homily. And this is the kind of holy man that he is. And again, having been betrayed in such a profound way in the past, and this just spoke volumes that there are good people, there are still good priests, and unfortunately, I think a lot of Catholics still feel like we're being betrayed by the hierarchy, even by the bishops, by the Pope. Sometimes there's a lack of reverence. There's a lack of, attention to certain things that need attention. And to have a priest who addresses those things, who's not afraid to talk about abortion, same-sex marriage, contraception, all those things, it helps. It helps so much when, again, I've been through so much already, and then further betrayal by my beloved church, then to have at least that one priest. And I do know many good holy priests, don't get me wrong, but to have this one holy priest who we are, just so blessed to have a relationship with on a regular basis, it really helps to inspire the hope and the healing that our church needs so much.
Wow. Faith. God bless you for calling in and sharing what you did here today. I am so happy, I know Debbie is, that you have developed this relationship with Father Chris, which can, like you said, bring peace and healing into the situation, because you were betrayed in a very savage way, it sounds like. And, how difficult it had to be for Father Chris to come into this parish, and, for any priest to come in after something like that has been done, because the majority of our priests we know are good and faithful and holy and would never do anything like that. And yet they've got to come into a situation where that has happened. And you have to wonder, what's going through the minds of the faithful, especially through the mind of someone like you, Faith, who, you've had this happen at the hands of a priest. And so the next priest that comes in, it probably would be very natural for you to be thinking, well, is he just another one? Is this going to happen again, or is this going to happen to other people? So thanks be to God, he has that humility and that holiness to lead in a very difficult time like this. And especially, like you said, to kneel down and pray the rosary at that situation. There isn't much more he can do, like he said, except pray. But that is very, very powerful. Mm-hmm. Debbie?
And I just want to say, Faith, you are totally living up to your name. You have such an unwavering faith to be able to endure what you had to go through. And my heart breaks that you had to experience that, because it I'm sure, emotionally hit you at so many levels. And it's such a betrayal. And it's something that you have to, like you said, with healing and time and peace, to get back to your understanding of what the church should be and what the church should represent. And I just want to say thank you so much for not walking away and saying, I'm done. Everybody's, they're all liars. They're all, they're people I cannot trust. You stayed. And I just believe in my heart of hearts, because you stayed close to Christ and the Eucharist in the Catholic Church, I really believe the abundant blessings will continue to flow, and amazing graces are imparted to you because you had that unwavering faith. I just have to say that to you, because I really admire you very, very much.
Oh, thank you. Well, only by the grace of God. It's been 20-something years, and it gets. You learn to deal with it, but it is still difficult, especially when we see the church in the kind of the state that it's in right now. It just adds to the betrayal. But to have, again, like I said earlier, to have that, sometimes all it takes is that one person to just totally change your perspective of things, to just bring back that fire that everyone needs, to bring back respect for the Eucharist and all of that. And it's really been so helpful in my own healing journey, and I know for the in the lives of so many people within my family and within my parish.
Mm-hmm. Real quickly, Faith, before we go, I thought I caught you say something about a ministry earlier in your comments. Has this developed into a ministry of sorts for you, or did I mishear you?
Well, I'm friends with like Teresa Tomeo. We've spoken spoken in the past. I have a book available. It's called Glimmers of Grace: Moments of Peace and Healing Following Sexual Abuse. So I had written a devotional published by our Sunday Visitor a few summers ago. It's a devotional for survivors of sexual abuse, and it speaks to how God's gifts, God's graces, can help you through those difficult times.
Beautiful.
Right. Yeah. Wow, what a powerful call. Thank you for being open to the Spirit and sharing with us today, because we do have full phone lines. So that means we have a lot of listeners today, Faith, and I hope that your testimony, your journey of healing and what it means to have a great shepherd to help us with that peace and healing, maybe this is going to inspire others to give the Catholic Church a second look. So thank you.
I certainly hope so. I met with Pope Benedict many years ago, back in 2008, and one of the things he said to me is, there is always hope. And, we need hope right now. Yes. So, and that's always my prayer. If there's any way that my story can just help bring that to people, then God's will be done. So thank you so much for what you do, though. I was listening to you on the way back from my prenatal appointment. I'm due with baby number 5 in just a few weeks. So I just had to call and share that.
Well, wait a minute, Faith. Do we know what we're having with baby number 5?
We're having a little girl. Her name's Catherine. So we're just praying that she turns around, because she's breech, and that's obviously not a good thing at the point where I'm at. So if you could just add me to your prayers, that would be helpful.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely. Well, Jerry was a breech baby too. He came out running. He just. So that's what it is, feet first. But no, we will pray that she turns around and you have a beautiful delivery, and your guardian angel's right with you, and the baby's guardian angel, Faith. So keep us posted when you can send us a picture of little baby Catherine, okay?
I will. Oh, thank you so much. God bless.
God bless you, Faith. All right, beautiful call. All of these are beautiful calls today. What do you love most about your parish? 833-288-3986. Maggie is in Midland, Texas, listening on Guadalupe Radio Network. Hi, Maggie. Welcome.
Good morning. Thank you for taking my call.
Yes.
I was really excited that this was the topic today, because I am a 3.5-year-old Catholic, and I recall the last night of RCIA, Monsignor came in and said, "Okay, now that you're Catholics, now that you're here, welcome home, and it's time to get to work." And he had a number of folks speak to us about all the opportunities for ministry. And I was able to become a lector and Eucharistic minister right away. But then over the past 3 years, I've also gained so many blessings, not just from the people, but the activities associated with our Walking with Purpose program. I'm in my level 1 formation of Catechesis of the Good Shepherd. And most recently, joining the Acts community with an Acts retreat a few months ago. I honestly think I am getting more out of it than I'm giving, but I'm having so much fun and I'm learning so much. It is the Catholic Church is the greatest thing ever. I'm almost 70, and as I said, I'm a 3-year-old Catholic, so it has taken me a long time to get here. But I'm so glad I did.
Well, I just want to comment first because I'm trained in all 3 levels of Catechesis of the Good Shepherd, Maggie, and I just wanted to say, way to go! Everyone that goes for training in Catechesis of the Good Shepherd, they think to themselves, "This is amazing," because it's so hands-on. You get all these insights that you've never really. Really seen before, but you're engaging all your senses, and you're coming alive in the parables. And I'll tell you what, it's incredible. So way to go! I hope you continue on with your training. I love how you're absorbing everything like a sponge, and you're spot on. And I did adult formation for 10 years, and I used to say to everyone that came every Thursday night, they didn't have to, they weren't receiving sacraments or anything like that, but they were dedicated every single Thursday night for 10 years. And I every time I'd start the session, I'd say, when can we quit being formed in the faith? And they would all yell out, when we take our last breath. And it's true, Maggie. And so way to go. What do you think, Jer?
I think it's great. I love your passion and enthusiasm, Maggie. And the church, yes, we have the hierarchy, and there are certain things that are left just to the priests, like, Mass and confession and things like that. But as far as other ministries and evangelization and really the lives that you've touched, Maggie, in just these 3 years, I can only imagine. And it sounds like you sort of have a sense of that because of the joy that we can hear in your voice.
Oh, I get excited every Sunday at Mass. Monsignor has been the pastor of our parish for, I believe, 18 years or 20 years, something like that. And we have a new priest who has just joined us, and actually a new deacon. We've got 3 deacons now and 2 priests. But the priest who just joined us, while he was thanking everybody at Mass, on Sunday, that he got to be there, and he reminded everybody that our pastor, Monsignor Grohl, is where our parish is where priests come for training, so they can learn from Monsignor. So that was really cool too. It is so fabulous. We had such a good time. All of our everybody in our parish, and there are so many young people as well, young families, which I was really, really glad to see.
Beautiful.
Yeah, having the young people, that's encouraging. That's great. That's a gift. Maggie, way to go. Thank you so much for your beautiful call. We so appreciate it. That was great. We have to mention more about Catechesis of the Good Shepherd. It's a great religious education program. Jerry, Catholic Answers Live, the show that you hosted and helped to create for many, many years. The best of Catholic Answers Live is Sunday nights, 6 Eastern Time on EWTN Radio. Cy Kellett takes your calls and talks with some of the leading apologists and theologians in the church today. EWTN is the exclusive radio home for Catholic Answers Live. I know you were just in San Diego, and so you absolutely always go visit the Catholic Answers studio, don't you?
Always love to go see the old gang, yeah.
Yeah.
They still let me in the building.
Are you the old guy of the old gang?
Yeah, pretty much.
True. You're like the grandfather.
Mm-hmm. The godfather.
The Godfather. Yeah, there you go. All righty. So where are we going next? We have full phone lines. Social media is just rolling in. You guys are sharing everything you love about your parish and maybe even some suggestions, which is great.
Yeah, a lot of you being very, very patient today. We're going to get to as many of you as we can, so hang on the line if you're there. Hillary in Orlando, Florida, listening on Sirius XM 130. Hello, Hillary. Welcome.
Hi, thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm from Orlando, Florida, and we go to St. Isaac Jogues parish here. It's a really large parish. It's a 5,000 family parish. But one of the things I really love is all the ministries and community service kind of things that they offer and the way they offer them, and especially the way they advertise them on the website just makes it really easy to join or get information about them. And for a long time, we'd moved on and off a bit, and for a long time I never really felt a part of a parish family, but I kind of realized part of that was because I wasn't involved in any of the ministries or any of the support groups or community service, outreach things. And so we're involved now in several things with our parish, and we just have some wonderful friends that will be lifelong friends that we've made from that. And I just love that they offer so many diverse things for people. And there's a new ministry that they're starting up, I guess, in some different dioceses around the U.S. and Canada called ECFL. It's Early Catholic Family Life. And it's a kind of group that meets for once a week for 8 weeks. And the parents and then the parents of children that are 5 and under come with their children, and they meet up together, and then they kind of split up into a parent group and then a children's group, and then meet up again and spend time together at the end. So we're actually part of starting that new ministry up at our church. So I just really like the way that they support the families through that.
Well, that is beautiful to hear, Hillary, not only the Early Catholic Family Life program that you described, but you seem to be describing a lot of great opportunities, ministries. Feeling at home at a parish, I think, is so important. And one of the ways that parishes help you feel that way, quite frankly, is by having, I hate to use the word programs, people sometimes cringe when they hear about parish programs, but programs, services, outreaches, ministries, these are not only opportunities for people, the parishioners, to go and be fed and formed and inspired and edified, but also for them to be involved, to have a role in that, and to be rolling up their sleeves and making a difference in the lives of other people. So, Debbie, this sounds like a super vibrant parish that Hillary belongs to.
I totally agree. Please thank your parish for spending the money, the effort, the time, everything to have these, well-rounded ministries that are welcoming, easy to participate in. Hillary, I love how you said that. I was a ministry coordinator for many years, and people would come to me all the time and they would say, Deb, I want to join this ministry, but nobody will call me back. It's so hard to join. I feel like nobody wants me to join this ministry. So when you just said that was like music to me, because I was like, wow, that is so good, because people should it should be an enjoyable experience to sign up for ministries, because that's the first step in really, making the using of your gifts, your time, talent, and treasure, so that you can be better formed, and it can be a wonderful experience. So please thank your parish for spending that. It takes a lot of work to do what your parish is doing, but your parish is a mega parish, so it sounds like you might have a very big staff there.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, thank you. And we also, just to mention, like you mentioned earlier about the priests that just give very vibrant homilies. We have a priest that definitely does that. So it's nice to just kind of be hit with that, anytime you go to Mass, to hear one of his homilies. And also, can I ask for, while I'm on, anybody that's listening to pray for our son? He's 4 months old, and he's got an ear infection and a cold that he hasn't been able to kick for 2 weeks. So any prayers for my son Luke would be very appreciated.
You got it. That's my son's confirmation name. I'm getting ready to pray the rosary right after the show, so we'll add Luke, okay, Hillary?
Oh, thank you so much.
Absolutely.
You're very welcome. Yeah. Speaking of prayers, we heard from Alicia, who is asking for prayers for Marty, a gentleman named Marty, who had helped his niece. Now Marty has COVID, and his mood is crushed. He is giving up. He's in a spiritual battle. So, friends, please keep Marty in your prayers, who is under the weight of COVID, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually as well.
Okay, do you want to announce what we're going to do for tomorrow? Because we're going to move our programs.
Matt has been a busy guy on the phones, Matt Gabinski, and we still have full phone lines. So if you are on the line right now, we're going to get hopefully to another call or two right now, but we'll carry this program over to end the week tomorrow on Friday. We'll do a part 2 of what you like most about your parish tomorrow to end the week.
Well, I think it's helpful, too, because we're going into the weekend. And again, we are getting messages. We do have clergy listening. So that's great. Thank you, our fine shepherds that are listening to what the faithful are saying. That's what Take Two's all about. Lisa is up next in Plymouth, Michigan. And Lisa is on Ave Maria Radio. Hi, Lisa. Welcome.
Hi. Thank you. So real quick, because we've got a lot of lines filled. I go to Our Lady of Good Counsel. We moved here in Plymouth. We moved here about 5 years ago, and Father John Ricardo was the pastor at the time. And we also have a daughter who has autism, so she has 2 volumes, Loud and Louder. And if you walk into a church in which the environment is very quietly reverent, we tend to be the ones that disrupt the entire mood, shall we say. But Father John, he was so welcoming, so warm, and that fed into the parish overall, in which it was probably the first time I can say, as a mother, I felt like we fit in. And then they have a special needs ministry, which we've never found in all the places we've moved, where they actually have a targeted approach to embracing individuals with disabilities when it comes to faith formation. This translated into my daughter, who will never be able to receive communion, but to be able to be confirmed by Father John, which was like a moment that indescribable. It was his last Mass, and he confirmed her. And up until that point, I think she was 21, 22. Up until that point, we couldn't get a priest who would be willing or open to do that. But so those are the good things about my parish, that I feel like for the first time, feel like we fit in and belong with a family member who truly is a force to be reckoned with. Her volume and her saying the priest's words and everyone else's words. Everyone knows we're there, and everyone knows when we're missing. And then the other thing I think would be really wonderful to have in our parishes is some type of formation that involves mothers and daughters or fathers and sons in the teen years. So often they have the youth groups, my kids all participate, and they separate. Now we help with group and that sort of thing, but there's this kind of bonding that happens within the church community that connects us in such a real way with other moms and daughters or other fathers and sons. So that's really one thing I would think would be so wonderful to have. It's young children, young families, but the teens, they really could use that bridge strengthened between their family and the outside world and the church.
Yep. Absolutely. Well, I just want to say, if you were calling to share about Father John Ricardo, you must know this, that he's very, very popular on Catholic radio. People love to listen to him. They long for his CDs and all the information that he has. And even when Jerry and I do pledge drives around the country, a lot of times when there's like this filler, of radio time, they'll put in a Father John Ricardo CD. Why? Because everybody will tune in and listen. So you are very blessed, and it sounds like the parish community is such a beautiful, loving, welcoming community. And you know what? We need more of that, Jerry.
We do. Thank you so much, Lisa, for the call. We appreciate that. Kurt in Boston, you would have been next, brother. You waited a long time. You'll be up absolutely first if you want to call back and join us tomorrow. We're doing a part 2 on this topic of what you love most about your parish. Colleen, same with you. You'll be moved to the head of the line in Frederick, Maryland. Candace, also in Maryland. Matt is screening other calls as well. So part 2 tomorrow. Why do you love your parish? What do you love most about it here on Take 2?
That's going to be the part 2 tomorrow. Please join us. This is some good stuff we're hearing today. You guys are awesome. We love the Take Two family. Thank you to the show team. And until tomorrow, have a beautiful and blessed day. St. Joseph, please pray for all of us. See you real soon.
The most original and exclusive Catholic content is on EWTN Radio.
I don't like looking back. I prefer to look forward and keep moving forward. There's plenty to cover. I do a lot of research and try to dig out the bits and pieces of a life or of a